Hey there, this week on Convincing Idiots, you're lucky you stopped by. We are going to commemorate George Forman and his passing. We're going to talk about some women's sports bars popping up around the country, especially right here in Northeast Ohio. And then we talk about video games. What could possibly be the worst movie you could make into a video game, or the best movie you can make into a video game? And then our main event, we talk about casting animated characters with live action people. So we're going to get all of that, so much more, this week on Convincing Idiots. And what time is it? It's time to start the show.
You guys enjoy your whatever that is.
All right. Test.
Test.
Call it again?
Convincing Idiots.
Convincing Idiots.
Called it ham gravy.
I informed them that I sided with the stat man, not just anyone's opinion, the stat man Brian Fisher.
These kids today.
Jingle All the Way is in fact the best Christmas movie of all time.
I need to get Grandma a present, and my herpes is flaring up. I got it.
Mm-hmm.
Yo. I'm the Millennial
We're
Santa.
three friends representing three different generations. That's our whole shtick. That's our thing.
Mm-hmm.
Nick got to hold poop.
Mm-hmm.
I'm standing in the sea
Caucasian.
breeze, holding a turd, just mightily. I'm just going hitting hats.
Anyway, on a lighter note,
Welcome to the podcast. Welcome to the vodcast. Welcome to the broadcast. Boys and girls, welcome to the show. This is Convincing Idiots. My name's Dean, the Zennial.
I'm Brian Gen X.
And I am Nick, and I'm the Millennial here, and we are Convincing Idiots, a weekly podcast of three friends representing three different generations. We get together on a weekly basis here to discuss all things nerd and pop culture. So if you are into those things, then consider yourself into us. That's right. So you can find us on all of your favorite social media accounts.
Can't wait for
All you
somebody
have
to be
to
inside
do
me.
is go to Google and type in Convincing Idiots Linktree, that's LINKTREE, and follow said links to all of our social media accounts, and there you won't miss a single thing that is going on with this podcast, and you can see where to subscribe to this podcast each and every week. There's also a merch store, so much more, all of that, and if you can
Give us
believe
money.
it, even more on our website, convincingidiots.wordpress.com. That's where we can be found on the internet. That's how we've already wormed our way into your ears, and now we will worm our way into your wallets and hearts.
Yeah.
So that is how we will do so on the interwebs. So, Convincing Idiots, this is episode 234. Brian, how are you in this fine episode 234? You feeling good? Are you feeling elated that you've been on a podcast that's been on the air for 234 episodes?
Of course, absolutely. I think only 2% of all podcasts make it that far. Something like
That's
that.
right.
I
That's
don't know.
right.
Yeah.
Look at
Yeah,
us.
we'll check the data, but no, very nice evening.
No need. You're the stat man.
Yeah,
I think that's good.
Thank you. Visited my lovely mother this evening. Had a nice Rocco's pizza for dinner. Can't go wrong with that.
Kenmore Boulevard, baby.
Yes, sir. So nice to visit with her. Yeah, busy week at work. Last weekend, Allie and I did we can't remember the last time, not what you're thinking, but
Mhm.
we had a dinner and movie date
What you call it?
Saturday. We haven't done that in quite a while, but
That's
we
nice.
saw the movie first. I'll talk about it a little bit, but the new Looney Tunes movie, The Day the Earth Blew Up. We were in a mood to watch something light, and that was definitely light, a lot of fun. We'll talk more about that. And then went to Sarah's Vineyard and had just a very, very good pizza, and they make these like large meatballs like an appetizer. You get two, huge meatballs and cheese and all the stuff. So it was, and they have very good wines. Just a great place in the Northeast Ohio area if you're in that direction, just down the road from Blossom Music Center. So
Nice.
yeah, so that's it. bad week of work kind of, but today was a better day, and it's good. So that's it. That's what I got going on. How are you?
Solid.
How
Yeah,
are you,
speaking
Nick?
of balls, how are you, Nick?
I'm good.
Mhm.
I had a ball-filled weekend. It was just me, myself, and I. No, no, I had a good weekend. I went last Friday and saw a
Actually,
concert
if you
with the
were
band.
alone, I don't think they'd be filled.
That's right. That's true. That is very true.
Quite empty.
But no, I had a good weekend. I went and saw a band that I love very much called Counterparts. I saw them in Cleveland. Some other good opening acts with them as well. It was a lot of fun. Then Saturday, so the missus was down all weekend sick. So I went to Magic City Brewing Company. I went to Wadsworth Brewing Company. And speaking of delicious pizzas, is pierogi pizza, which was phenomenal. So
Okay.
damn good.
Mhm.
Ran into one of my favorite nephews there, Scotty Oswald, who we all know very well of Golden Heart
Nice.
Tattoo. Or I'm sorry, not Golden Heart Tattoo, the Vault Tattoo.
Yes.
Is it open now?
It is
It
open.
is.
Yep.
It is.
Okay.
So yeah, but yeah, no, it was a good weekend. Just kind of hung around, did a few things, and kind of flew solo a lot. Like I said, the wife was sick, and just figured, ran the kids around and did all that stuff, and nothing too crazy. So, Dean, what about you?
Nothing. I do nothing. Actually, same as you. Megan and Nora were at her sister's in Indiana, so just Carter and I for the weekend, and didn't do much of anything. Just kind of hung out. Went to the mall. I don't know if you guys know that the mall is still a thing.
I've heard of such a thing. Yeah.
I think I only know of Summit and Belden Village in this area.
Sure.
I mean, we're in anyone listening northeastern Ohio, and in our area, there used to be malls aplenty, and now there's
Yeah, just
really just
one or
two in like a half-hour drive. So yeah.
Yeah. That's about it. We
Which one did you go to?
Summit.
Summit.
I walked around. We were doing a little shopping here and there. They have a record store in there, which is
Yes.
really nice. Yeah,
I found a really rare record that I was looking for a long time in there around Christmas time. They have an incredible selection.
Yeah.
Brian, when I was in there, they had a Slaughter poster up by the front counter,
Oh,
as in the
wow.
'80s, like Slaughter band. Yeah, it was amazing. Yeah,
Carter
Big D's Records, I think it is.
Yeah, I think something like that.
Yeah.
Carter was with me, and he has no interest in that, so I didn't really get a chance to sit and browse as much as I wanted to. So, but yeah. Other than that, just kind of hung out at the house. Continuing my new job. I get to see Nick every day, so I get to smile and be joyful and happy,
nice.
and pants fit a little tighter than they should, but it's a good day.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and I've been dealing with the damn cold all week. It's kicking my ass. Just you sneeze and you blow your nose, and you blow your nose and you sneeze. Where does all the snot come from? I have to be empty. I don't understand how it just automatically.
You say that, but every time I think you're empty, there's always more.
Well, you do prove that over and over again. So yeah, just all that horse shit.
We'll keep it going, Dean. You seen anything or anything you want to or watched, heard? Read?
Actually, just one thing. Stadium Lock Up on A&E. It follows, at least the first episode I watched, followed the Cleveland Browns opening day and their security staff. And it shows like the inside of they have a whole central nervous system for like security where
keeping an eye on Deshaun Watson and making sure he's not doing anything he's not supposed to do.
Yep, it's got like cameras everywhere, and then they're in section whatever, this guy's throwing something, and they're dispatching a security and staff and it goes to people that have been kicked out for taunting, throwing things. One guy vomited. It's a really cool look behind the scenes. Even if it wouldn't have been the Browns stadium, that was cool that it was. Just any sort of like production like that it was very cool to watch. So Stadium Lockup on A&E. I think on Wednesdays.
Okay,
nice, very cool.
Very few joyful events have happened in this stadium, ladies and
That is true.
gentlemen. Maybe 3 games total, something like that, since
If we're lucky.
1999. Yeah, I don't know.
A stadium so drab that the most interesting thing is the security detail.
Right?
This week on NFL Films, the Cleveland Browns security detail.
Yeah.
What
see how they
section
make
are
the
you
hot
in,
dog.
sir?
Yeah.
The most exciting thing was the vomiting guy.
Yeah. Yeah. Really. Yeah.
What dude did was just over kind of was standing at the railing and just flipped over and flipped off onto like the people below him.
Yeah.
Yeah, they kicked him
Nice.
out.
Yep. Very good.
And his completion to the ground is the finest we've seen today.
It was the only completion.
Yep. That's it. All right. Very good. Nick, how
It was
about
the
you?
only
Anything?
time somebody wearing a Cowboys jersey landed on the ground all day.
Sure. Yeah, by the way, all these rumors of Dak Prescott to Cleveland Browns, it's all these rumors I keep seeing,
Huh.
But Dak
All
has a
right.
no trade clause. Be interesting to see. But he would never waive a no trade clause to go to Cleveland. You got to be nuts. That's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I don't. That doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't.
No.
No offense to
Clickbait,
anybody
but-
involved. I
It
just
would be,
yeah,
it would be
it
neat,
just
though.
doesn't make any sense.
Nope. Go ahead, Nick.
What did I? Oh, nothing really too new. I've just been plugging away on Shoresy, and I'm now into the current season, which is season 4. So once again, just absolutely enjoy every single episode of that show. So that's about it. I don't think I really watched much of anything else. Watching some hockey and stuff, and opening day today for Major League
Yeah.
Baseball fans. So there's that.
Very good.
Cleveland
I'm a
won
Blue
as
Jay-
well.
I'm a
Well,
Jays
Yeah.
fan. That went real bad today. So yeah. Brian, what have you been
Brian?
watching?
Well, I mentioned that new Looney Tunes movie, and it's got good. I mean, it was a solid movie. It's
This was in the
Sort of-
theater?
Yeah,
yes,
said I was not aware there was a new Looney Tunes movie out.
Yeah. I didn't know anything about that.
yes, indeed. So it's a Porky Pig and Daffy Duck movie.
Okay.
Again, the day the Earth blew up, and there's a new guy, Eric Bauza.
Yeah,
who
you
is
said
doing
that subtitle. I thought you
Yeah.
were just slipping slowly into senility. I didn't really actually think
Nope.
that was a real thing.
I thought he's been
Nope.
there for a while now.
It's possible.
Huh.
No, but this guy does the voices of both Daffy Duck and Porky Pig, and it was a fun movie. I mean, it's kids, but they threw in some adult humor for sure into it. Okay, so it was definitely like a family friendly movie. And if you're a Looney Tunes fan, I know Dean, you are. Are you a classic Looney Tunes, Nick, or not so much?
I
Like
mean,
the
it's
old ones?
it's obviously always been around, but I didn't spend a lot of time watching it. Like it was that
Okay.
that was all. There were different cartoons. I was like
All
Nicktoons
the
generations.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Dean, you would appreciate this guy does the voices are very authentic. You
Mel
know,
Blanc.
yeah.
S. All
The
right.
subtleties, the stutter with Porky Pig, the Daffy Duck, spitting, spittle type voice. You know what I'm
Yeah.
talking about?
Oh, yeah.
Just so good. It's just fun. I mean, do you have to go see it in the theater? No, but when it comes out on streaming, yeah, definitely check it out and enjoy it with the family or something like that. So
Okay.
we really enjoyed that. So a lot of fun. And then let's see what I've been watching here. I caught a couple of episodes last evening. New show on Netflix, The Residents. This is a lot of folks in this. It's like it's a funny detective show. So this woman is a kind of a quirky detective, like a kind of a genius.
Is that the one with D
And-
from Sunny in Philadelphia? Or no?
No.
I think
no,
so.
Oh, okay.
That's
Checking.
that's on Fox.
Okay. Sorry, carry on. I was
No, that's
thinking that,
okay.
but maybe I saw it.
So Jane Curtin has a role in this. Who's the guy, the villain?
It's
the
Melanie
villain?
Drapes.
Right.
What?
Melanie Drapes, he says.
Oh.
Because
I'm gonna look it up here because now I'm already.
Because what?
in it.
The one lady's name is Jane Curtin, so Melanie Drapes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So,
So
Brian, to
Uzo-
answer your off-camera question, no, the character
Yes.
building is not leading to any better comedy. No.
Nope.
No, it's a definite. So Uzo Aduba is the detective. Giancarlo Esposito is a role in this. Bronson Pinchot is in this as the
Okay.
chef. Yes. Randall Park is in it as an FBI agent. So just real quick, the Giancarlo Esposito, he's like the head usher of the residence of the White House. So there's a section there where the family lives, and they have a whole staff and security. So there's a head person that runs the whole organization of the residence, basically. And he was found killed, and then they bring in this detective to help solve the crime. So like 2 episodes in, a lot of fun. So if you like detective shows, and it's one of those things where you see her piecing things together, it's kind of building up to, then you start to get the suspects and everything. So it's that kind of writing, but it's funny, it's quirky, definitely a lot of fun. So check that out. And I keep working through Celtic City. Just love it. The history of the Boston Celtics on Max. So I'm now episode 4 just dropped. So now you've gotten Larry Bird was drafted, and you have this is the early years of the Larry Bird Celtics. They bring in Kevin McHale, they bring in Robert Parrish. So it's kind of building up to those great '80s teams against the Lakers. Just very, very good. I finished the series I mentioned before, but Running Point on Netflix, the Kate Hudson series, where she's the president of the fictional basketball team. Kind of took some interesting twists and turns, and they announced that it will return for another season. So it's very good, very entertaining, and check that out if you like sports comedies or just good comedies in general. Kate Hudson's fantastic in it, so definitely recommended. That's it.
I actually hate comedy. That's why I do this podcast.
That's why you set out to destroy it
that's
by
what
your
it is.
jokes that you make on this show.
Show
Get
by
that
show,
from the inside.
little by little. Yeah, that's it. All right. Well, we're gonna take a break. We're gonna take a drink. Oh, speaking of drinking, I didn't mention that. What are you guys drinking, by the way, before we?
Yidling.
Mouthwash.
Good old Yingling.
There's alcohol in it.
Yeah.
Yingling. I'm drinking Southern Tier's Strawberry Shortcake Imperial Ale. This was one of the ones Robin got me for my birthday. Meine Geburtstag. Still doing the Duolingo, by the way. That's going really well. I'm a level 11 in German right now.
Wow.
You know what, Nick, you inspired me, by the way. I started going through Duolingo Spanish.
Did you? Fuck yeah.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes, I wanted to learn. I need to pick up some Spanish. I think that's a good way to start. And it's quite good.
Das ist wunderbar. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you?
What, Dean?
Yeah, I also started it.
Mm-hmm.
I am at
Get ready, ladies and gentlemen.
I am at a level 17 Brian. Hold on. You ready?
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Right?
Oh,
Pretty
you know
good.
what? The grammar was there, and I would never know the difference. Just a couple the cadence, but that's fine tuning. You'll get there. Yeah.
You learn the words, then you get the accent later.
I like it.
Yep. Yeah. Very good. Nicely done.
Thank you.
Yeah,
We're
keep
so
it up.
fucking cultured here, boys. This is insane.
Yeah. I'm just drinking another, by the way, Conway. So I still have some in the fridge, and
Nice.
drink it till it's gone. Drink it till it's gone. So
There you go.
All right, we're gonna take a drink. We're gonna blow a nose, and Dean's gonna blow something else, and we'll be back right after this with some pop culture headlines and our Ask an Idiot segment. Gen X Brian here from the Convincing Idiots podcast. If you're enjoying our show, tell a friend. And if you're not, well, tell 2 enemies.
Segment number 2. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, welcome back to Convincing Idiots, segment 2, episode 234, right? 234.
234. That is correct.
Yeah. Excuse me. We did have a recent death in the world of pop culture I need to mention. This is we're shooting this on Thursday, March 27th, last Friday. The legendary boxer George Foreman passed away. Guys, yeah.
That guy has the same name
76.
as the dude that made all those grills.
Happens to be the same guy, actually.
Hey, what?
Fella.
Yeah. So 76, he had quite a boxing career, first of all. So everybody know. I mean,
Quite.
younger folk. I mean, a lot of people certainly know him. You know, like you said, Nick, on the George Foreman grill that he
I got the fat.
endorsed. That's right.
Yes.
But in the 70s, I mean, he was a hell of a boxer. He fought and lost to Muhammad Ali in the heavyweight championship. He was like 40-0 when he went out and fought Ali. It was like the whole Rumble and the Jungle thing, you know, and you might remember, you know, if you listen to see old sports clips and
Manila.
Howard Manila, Thrilla in Manila.
Thrilla in
That's
Manila.
right. Yeah. Howard Cosell's call, you know, down goes Frazier. You know, he beat Joe Frazier and then again lost to Muhammad Ali. But then he came back, right? So
40 years?
He returned to boxing in the 90s.
Yep. And then became world heavyweight champion again.
Yes, he was the oldest man to win the heavyweight title at 45 years of age. I remember all this here. So I remember 94. It was like everybody, you know, like, you know, my dad at the time, probably your dad too, Dean, was just rooting for this guy to come back.
Dude,
you know,
absolutely.
And he was just one of those guys
into it boxing back then. So like that was like my fucking sweet spot on that.
Yeah,
that was
fun.
That was pretty awesome to watch.
Easy guy to root for. He always very personable. Always seemed very friendly.
When he quit boxing, he quit to become a preacher.
That's right. Yes. Yep. And I just remember his style. He just would be there and just, you know, he didn't look to be in the greatest shape in the world, mind you, but he was certainly very powerful. So, you know, if he got a right on you, you were in some serious trouble, right? So,
Muhammad Ali told the famous story that that fight in Manila. I don't know if you're familiar with the term rope-a-dope, but it is where Ali would just kind of lean up against the ropes and let his opponent just beat on him until they got tired. And then he'd come back. And so, I mean, it's probably what, you know, messed up his head later on in life, especially the Foreman fight. But Foreman was telling the story that that he was just beating on Ali, just beating and wailing on him, just punching the shit out of him. And after a while, Ali looks up and goes, "Is that all you got?" And Foreman's like, "Well, yeah." And then he comes back and kicks his ass. Yeah, it's fun.
So then he... Go ahead, sorry.
I was just going to say, hell of a man and a fighter.
Yes, that's right. He had like 5 boys, all named George. It was George 1, you know, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, something like that. It was just kind of funny. But yeah, then he retires from boxing. He loses the title, and then he had all these endorsement offers it talked about. So he had one of the grills before he agreed to endorse it, and he had it at home. And I think his wife used it, was the story. So she used it and told him how much that she loved using it. So then he's like, okay. So that was enough for him to agree to endorse the grill.
He knows what he's doing.
Absolutely.
Cool. Good. Love it. I'm behind it 1,000%.
In the 90s, it was just this was like the low fat, non-fat era of dieting craze in the 90s. So I got one of those grills. I tell you what, son of a bitch worked.
I still use it to this day.
Yeah, so do we.
Very good. Yeah.
Yep.
You know, if you for some reason you don't know what the George Foreman grill is, it just grills that they're on an angle. They're non-stick, has a lid to it, has a little tray. So when you cook meat or something, the fat drips into the thing and runs out and into the tray. So you're not cooking something in the fat. So does it help a whole bunch? I don't really know, but it definitely does reduce the fat that you're cooking food in. I mean, that is for sure. So
yeah.
But he sold a lot of them, man. So he was doing the infomercials. It was in that era as well. So certainly this is before, the internet was big and everything. So people were just sitting around watching TV late at night to get the infomercials. And George Foreman was just so personable there and selling this thing. 3 easy payments of $19.95 apparently was some of the grill prices.
That's it.
And let's see here. He did sell the business eventually. I got it right here. So it was like 137 million. He and his partners sold the business and just made him a very rich man. So that's it. Just seemed like a good guy. Great story. Great boxing career. Also won a gold medal in 1968 in the Olympics for the United States in boxing. So that's it. So, Dean already talked about him a little bit. Any other words on George Foreman or the George Foreman grill or anything about Mr. Foreman?
I mean, yeah, the grill's neat. I mean, but really, if that's what you want to focus on, that's
No. It's more the man, certainly.
Yeah, I mean, he started his life as a almost a street thug, really going down the wrong path, beating up kids, getting in trouble, getting in fights.
Beating up kids.
Well, he was a kid.
Oh,
Yeah, no, he was a kid.
you said he was going down the wrong path and he was beating up kids. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, he was like 42.
Tuning up for this comeback.
Right.
Yeah.
Knock out the fat and the child with the George Foreman grill.
Take the easy route
Bam.
first. It was good. Yeah,
Knock
but
out the fat kid. Sorry. Go ahead.
I'm ready for Ali now.
I'm sorry. You may continue.
No, he had a rough life. Found boxing, excelled in that to the highest level, and then he probably has one of the greatest second acts there could be in sports. Because 20, 40 years later, he comes back and wins the world title again, and in between that, becomes a preacher and has a congregation and helps people's lives on a personal level. I mean, everything that you could think of. I mean, that dude did, from making an incredible amount of money to saving people's lives in many different ways, to becoming the world heavyweight champion in boxing twice. So, yeah, incredible life. That's about it. We should all be so lucky, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know if you may not be as familiar with him, Nick.
No, I mean, I am, but more of the personality. And I was fully aware that he was a boxer and stuff like that, and fully aware of his accolades as a boxer, but as someone who didn't grow up with boxing and he was active before, I mean, either when I was a very young child or before I was even born. But I will say I have a lot of respect for, to speak to Dean's sentiments on the second act of his life, of his career, like people that are able to stay relevant. And you may look at it as like a funny little marketing thing that he, was very popular, like the grills and stuff like that. But he was, because of that was such a big part of how he was able to stay relevant throughout life. And as a personality, like you said, Brian, he was such a charismatic and just friendly and welcoming kind of personality that, it opened him up to opportunities like that. And so much so that even though he hasn't boxed in many decades, everyone still knows who George Foreman is. It's kind of like how Shaquille O'Neal and those guys that are on the panel, guys that are still active, they might be in commercials, they might be investors in things, they might, long after they're playing or performing days or whatever. But I just have a lot of respect for someone who's able to, and it may have, like I said, just been for the sake of making some money and marketing some things, but seemed to be a pretty good dude all the way around. And I think it's cool when someone, I guess, success finds good people and they're able to stay, relevant for a while, even after what they're primarily known for.
Absolutely. And just so good on the talk shows back then, too. He did all the circuits of the talk shows and everything back then. Just, again, like you say, very personable guy. And it made him a lot of money. So good for him.
Yeah, hell yeah.
So Nick, now you are becoming. You kind of mentioned this last week a little bit, where you're feeling a little bit older, and now you
Yes.
have the new generation.
An elder millennial is what I am called. That's right.
Shows.
So now the not too long ago, this is the article here. If you ask Derek Dang 22 to describe millennials, the Gen Z term is a chuggy, which is outdated or uncool, may have come to mind. However, now millennials for Gen Z they have hints of nostalgia. So now, Nick, you're joining one of the older generations where stuff that you grew up with is now you have younger generations now after you feeling that a sense of nostalgia for some stuff that you grew up with. So you happens to everybody, certainly. All right.
Now, this might miss me because I will have you know that amongst my oldest and their friend group and their DI group, I am affectionately known as the rizzed up drip daddy because I am so hip and I am so cool.
I liked you before you said that sentence. Now I fucking hate you.
Yeah, I am the rizzed up drip daddy. Everyone screams it out in joy and jubilation when I enter the room. That's right.
That's it.
That's right.
So some Gen Zs is saying that millennials kind of grew up in a time of.
I'm mewing. Don't interrupt me mewing.
Oh, you're mewing. Oh, thank you.
Is that a personal thing you want to do in the bathroom? Right.
So some Gen Zs feel like millennials grew up in a time that was, more stable, more hopeful. Barack Obama becomes the first black president. Seemed like things might be changing. Of course, now that's all upended these days. But back then, it definitely was a different feel.
In flames.
Yeah. So, Nick, what do you think?
Orange flames.
You are our millennials. So, when growing up, and when you look back, growing up, do you agree with that? Do you feel like it was a different time, that things were more hopeful? And how do you feel about the next generation thinking that stuff you grew up with is now getting nostalgic? What do you think?
I think 1,000% I can relate to that. And I think we've had this discussion before. I think everyone thinks, provided you had a relatively positive upbringing or positive experience as a child, everyone kind of looks back fondly on how they grew up, and they kind of view that as maybe not the best time, but a great time. And I certainly do. You can probably actually hear me change into it if you go back and listen to when we started this podcast, as to where I took, 4 or 5 years ago, a younger approach to things and a more hopeful, optimistic outlook. And as time goes on,
beaten
it's like,
down by the world.
my biggest thing,
beating you into submission.
Yeah, what I tell people the most, and like whether it be like my own kids or like people, is like, I'm so grateful for when I grew up, the time that I grew up in. Like, we had home computers, we had video games. It felt like technology was at the beginning of this rapid upswing in growth, to where we had all this awesome technology that we never had before, but it wasn't so accessible that it completely consumed us, right? Like, it wasn't in our pocket all the time, but like, you had to fire up the PlayStation or the computer or download music illegally or whatever. Like, there were ways to get plugged into things that you never could before.
Deal. Brian had cave paintings.
That's true. That's true. But there were ways to get plugged into the things you wanted, and accessible ways to enjoy new things. But I felt like when I grew up, we had a good mix, right? Like, it wasn't just our parents threw us outside and didn't care where we were until the streetlights came on, exactly. But it was also like we had, you know what I mean? And I don't say that to down. I like the mixture, is what I'm trying to say. We did have those freedoms. We did play outside. We did ride on our bikes places and get hurt outside and all that shit. But we had that mixture of that real world experience, along with like being hip to new technology and figuring out we know our way around computers and we know how to work with technology. I really liked the balance of that. So like, yes, I'm incredibly nostalgic for when I grew up, and no one's a bigger fan of the 1990s than me. I will tell you all about all the amazing things, whether anything in pop culture in the 1990s, TV shows, the Nicktoons, the music, the video games, everything was, my kids think that, they ask me, what was it like in the 90s? Because I talk about it so glowingly. So
Sure.
I'm incredibly nostalgic for, yes, how I grew up, when I grew up. And my old man's phase now is just kind of what I alluded to before was just kind of like that. God, like my kids, I have to constantly like tell them to put it down when we're somewhere, or like they ask questions that have already been answered because they literally, even though I was right next to them, they weren't taking anything in because they weren't paying attention, or just in some ways I worry that like our brain, like the next generation's brains are kind of broken. Like they don't
They're a little softer.
yeah, I don't even want to say softer. I think because in some ways emotionally you have to be harder to be as chronically online as kids are now. But like it's more of like oblivion. It's unaware. It's just unaware. Like they will never know the sensation of just like driving down the road and looking out the window because they just don't do that. You know what I mean? Like I used to go on whole ass trips to South Carolina, just watch I'd lay down in the back seat with no car seat because that's what time was, and then like watch the power lines on the roads make a like a flip book because they would where the posts gap, you know what I mean, where they connect, they would kind of. And I just watched like the wave of the power lines go up and down as we drove down the road. They'll never know what the fuck that is. Not that gave me anything profound. It's just, I don't know, an experience that they won't know.
Yeah, speaking of experiences, I was actually pretty proud. Carter went over his buddy's house in Talmadge, and the kid's mother was. He spent the day there, and the kid's mother was at work, and that was fine. That those two, were home alone together. But the fact is they both got on their bikes and got on a trail and just fucking went for like miles. He said they just went on and on, just and kind of had an adventure.
Nice.
For the whole day, just outside, just on their bikes all throughout the town and into another town, and and I trust him enough to to keep safe. But yeah, I was happy that he had that experience.
Yeah,
because of that reason that they don't get that anymore.
Right.
Very good. That's good.
So, but you
All
guys
right.
are the same way, and Brian, you're the same way. We've had many conversations of that you're nostalgic for when you grew up, and certainly you grew up in a great era. Like you grew up with Star Wars and shit, and like a lot of the films and music that you grew up with are still popular to this day on a certain level. They're still relevant to many people. So, I mean, I think everybody can say that. And the same can be said for this generation. There will be some things that come out of it. There will be massive building blocks and technology that were put forth from our kids' generations that people will look back on and go, this was such an integral part of where we are today, or this experience of streaming, or this, that, or I don't stuff we can't even.
When I was a kid, we didn't
imagine.
even have sex robots.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. I used to have to download fucking Photoshop porn and print it out so I can go jack to it and wait and hope that it took like an hour and a half to print a single picture in color on my printer in my bedroom, and hope that my parents didn't come into my room and see it. And now like kids are just going to be able to like fuck their phones, and it's going to be great. Yeah.
Times have changed.
Yeah.
Times have changed. Some ways for the better.
Yeah. Kids fucking phones can't go
Not
wrong.
much. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got to be something you plug in the bottom, right? Like like an adapter, like you plug the speaker in.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Well, no, by that time it'll be Bluetooth enabled. No, there will be no plugins.
Okay, that's
It'll be
fair.
Bluetooth enabled.
All right.
Yep. Bluetooth and activated moisture and vibrations. Yep.
There you go.
Wow,
Yep.
that's actually how Brian described himself online.
It was my Tinder handle or headline. Yeah.
Tinder, Grinder.
Tinder. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Just want to be sure.
Yeah.
They actually call them the bean.
That's right. It worked for Ollie. You know what I mean? Yeah.
That Looney Tunes movie was a hoot.
Yeah.
Really did it there.
Yep. Yeah, we're the tallest people in the theater. We didn't give a shit. It was fine.
Suffer and suck cash.
Yell at some kids, stop laughing, you know.
And then,
so
ironically, at the end, he said, "Oblique, oblique, oblique." That's all, folks.
That's it. Yep.
I taught putty tat. I did. I did.
So women, a trend is increasing a little bit here, guys. There is a bar in Cleveland. I did not know this, but women's sports bars are becoming more of a thing.
Oh,
right?
no. I'm sorry, Brian. I just heard women and sports in the same sentence. Boo and hiss. No.
So this is like it's just a collection of different sports bras.
No, so it's a sports bar that is women's sports themed. So you go in, and very likely, I'm sure, it's going to be just on whatever sports events are showing. It's going to be women's sports, right?
So they're showing women's sports, or it's a sports bar where women can feel like,
good question,
like just dudes hitting on them and shit, and being like,
probably a little bit of both, but it's it's mainly that we're going to show women's sport on the television.
That's very cool. Where's this at?
Yes, there's a handful around the country now, but the venues have broken ground in or plan in every region of the country, including major cities like New York, Chicago, San Francisco, and smaller cities like Cleveland, Pittsburgh, and Kansas City.
Bar and restaurant. I just want to know how uncomfortable I need to feel when I ask them to make me a sandwich.
I would assume they probably would have food as well.
All right.
Yep.
Just want to be prepared.
So what are your thoughts? So women's sports is certainly becoming more popular. You know, women's college sports becoming more popular. You know, certainly the basketball with Caitlin Clark, right? Became definitely very popular when she was playing at Iowa. A lot more views, and now the WNBA is becoming more popular again. Cleveland's set to, looks like they're going to regain the Cleveland Rockers in the WNBA.
Yeah, I just heard that. Yeah, we got the Toronto Tempo coming next year, and the WNBA.
John Rocker's going to be their mascot.
Very nice. No.
Okay.
No. Yeah, but I don't know. I think it's kind of cool. I mean, I don't know. I don't know that I necessarily seek out women's sports necessarily, but certainly it's gaining more popularity. And why not? I mean, if there's an audience for it, why not take advantage of it? Have a bar that caters to that clientele. Certainly, men and women both enjoy women's sports.
To sit in the pole vault section.
Sure.
Okay.
Of course. So, Nick, what do you think? Is it a sports bar, women themed? What do you think?
Love
Interested?
it.
Don't care?
Love it. Absolutely. You guys know I'm a big hockey fan, and I love all forms of hockey. The PWHL is phenomenal. I watch it every single week. Big Toronto Scepters fan, obviously. And
there's a professional women's hockey league.
There's professional women's hockey league. Yeah, PWHL. Oh. So there's a whole history, and it goes back. They've been doing this now for the last, I want to say, like 8 years. There were 2 separate women's leagues. There was one Canadian, one American, primarily driven, and there was this kind of like rivalry where people were very dedicated to whatever league they were in, and they would never cross over. So there were some of the, like the women you see in the Women's Olympic Games played in a league that folded before the previous Winter Olympics in which they could compete. So unless you were watching the Winter Olympics, you couldn't see a lot of the American and Canadian stars, Marie-Philippe Poulin for Canada, Amanda Kessel for the States, and there's tons of players on each side that are just phenomenal athletes. You couldn't see them unless they were playing in the Olympics. So there was a Canadian league that was going on for a while. We had the Toronto Six. They lasted like 2 seasons before that league folded, and then 2 seasons ago there was nothing, and they were trying to figure out a way to combine and make a viable league that could provide benefits and a living wage for these athletes, because all these women, when they're playing these other leagues, they're still having to work full-time jobs. This is just basically, it's like what I do playing on a beer league team, working a regular full-time job, but then trying to devote myself 100% to be the best athlete I can be to this league. And so finally they had this sustainable league where they both kind of came together. And now we have the PWHL. This is season number 2. Last year, the Toronto Scepters, shout them out, went all the way to the finals. But yeah, we got a team in Minnesota. There's teams in Minnesota, Boston, New York, Toronto, Montreal. So anyway, yeah, like I'm a big fan. I watch the PWHL every single week. When the Scepters are on, I try to flip it on. But the hockey is incredible, and that's the thing that I would want to tell people. I don't know about I love the NBA, but I'm not a big WNBA fan. I assume as the tempo comes into the league and the rockers and things like that, I'll try to make more of an effort to kind of watch those games. But I can tell you from a hockey perspective, those girls are fucking phenomenal. Like the speed and the agility, and they fucking hit too. Like the way the game is played would make any true hockey fan proud. So I think that's the biggest thing with like dudes and watching sports is like they feel like it's their turf, or that like women can't do it either as well on a skill level, or if it's a physical game that they're not gonna like provide that physicality. Well, I can tell you from being a hockey fan that the PWHL is a phenomenal fucking league with amazing talent. So if you're a basketball fan, I would imagine you should also be watching the WNBA. So all that to say that, yeah, definitely like there are plenty of women out there who are, passionate about sports, and that's incredible that there's going to be a place for them to where that not only makes them maybe feel more at home or welcome, but also like really spotlights their leagues and seeing people that look like them and would play like them and whatever, highlighted in the spotlight. So I think that's fucking awesome. And I'd be happy to go to a bar in Cleveland and watch a PWHL game. That would be incredible.
Yeah. I'll have to keep an eye out for that. I don't know that it's open yet, but at least it looks like it's at least being planned for Cleveland. There's different, it's not necessarily the same franchise, but it's different, similar themes. Dean, what do you think?
Yeah.
Do you interested or don't care?
I think it's.
Do you hate women, or you just support them? What's the answer?
Why do I have to land on just one? No, I don't mind. I don't search out, like you said. I don't search out for female sports, but I'm not against it. If it's on, I'll watch it. I mean, they're all better athletes than me, so I mean. Which I know is not, it's not.
Please give them some credit, okay? Actual credit.
Right. All right, hold it. You're gonna have to.
He's gonna throw up. Mom, I'm gonna throw up.
I'm sorry. Shit. I fucking tickle right there.
Yeah.
All right, sorry.
Still feeling that from this morning, eh?
You didn't even get back to my cuspids.
I'll clear that up for you tomorrow. See you at 6 a.m. You're fine.
All right. And getting back here. All right. Yeah. I don't mind at all. I enjoy one sports. Maybe not as much as Nick does. But honestly, Nick probably enjoys sports in general more than I do. I watch it. I'm a fan of sports in general, but I mean, I'm not in like basketball. So female basketball, male basketball, I could give two shits less about either one. So is it cool that they have their own bar? Absolutely. Would I go in to see if I can see like a like the celebration of the local women's softball team? Sure. Why not? I think it'd be fun.
Yeah.
And I do though, especially I guess the only time you see it is the Olympics. But I am a fan of women's curling.
Oh sure,
yeah, because I love the idea of like them practicing sweeping.
Yeah,
love it,
dude. I'm gonna send you. Okay, sorry, we're getting super like this is contradictory to like the sentiment we're going for here. But I'm gonna send you the Instagram account of one of the Canadian national stone throwers. From the curling team. She's gorgeous.
All right.
And when she yells out hard, There's
Sure.
there's
Sure.
just nothing quite like it. Let me tell you.
I got no choice.
I'm an ally and also a chauvinist. There you go. Yeah.
Right.
There you go. No, I'm with you guys. Why not? I don't watch like you say a lot of women, so I don't avoid it. But when I do watch it, like you say, it's just good athletes are good athletes.
Exactly.
It's really as simple as that. So, good for you. I celebrate it. It's awesome, and especially with it, as I've had a girl and a daughter, and Allie has a beautiful daughter. I love you. It's anything that empowers women to celebrate. I'm all for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, why not? It's good stuff. All right. Okay.
I knew it was a slippery slope when we let them vote.
Now we have their own
Sports bars, that's ours. Yeah, what ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, a idiot ask an idiot question of the week has nothing to do with anything we talked about here. Sort of, I guess, Nick talked about video games growing up. I had video games growing up here, so we'll tie it loosely to that here. So, Dean, you had a thought of I think we were out drinking one night, and it was on St. Patrick's Day.
It was St. Patrick's Day, but I just not recall. But the question came up. Because we were talking about old video games, how bad some of them were bad, and how some of them, like E.T., shouldn't have been made into video games, like movies shouldn't have been made into video games. And the question is, what other movies are there that would make a horrible video game? And then on the flip side, what movies out there would make a good video game that isn't already a video game? So you can't Top Gun. Already a video game, you can't choose that.
Mm-hmm.
You say movies that would make a. I'm sorry, movies.
What's a good one and what's a bad one?
Right.
Okay.
So, Brian, why don't we start with you? If you want to go, we'll do good first.
You're right. Some I thought of, and you look them up. It's like, that was a video game.
Right.
Like Jaws was a video game. All right.
Oh,
didn't know that. Evil
Dead.
Didn't know that.
Movies that would make a good video game.
And one with some that would make a bad one. Right. So
I misunderstood the assignment.
I thought of The Thing, Nick. But actually, that's a new video game that's coming out soon, where you play like a role play survival game on the base. You go back to the base where the thing was set and everything. Anyways,
it was also a game on GameCube.
I didn't realize that. Okay. All right. Well, they have a new version of it. Tombstone, Dean. So Tombstone, the Western, I think would make a good video game. So you're Wyatt Earp. You can get a Doc Holliday. You just have a classic. You can go hunt the cowboys. You can just kind of set it along the movie plot line. There are video games, Tombstone, but I don't think it's necessarily based on the movie.
Yes,
so I'm thinking of based on the movie would be a good game. The whole 6-shooter, the whole bit. So that would be a good choice for me.
I'm going to let Nick go because I'm going to really quick shoot my good one off, which was Tombstone. Written right here.
You could say thing.
Tombstone. I'm like, that would be badass if you think about it. Yeah, for exactly what you just said. Like, how cool would it be to be Wyatt Earp? Or, hell, you could even like go on like side adventures like Doc Holliday.
Absolutely.
It'd just be cool. So, yeah, Tombstone was definitely my answer.
There you go. How about that?
Yeah. So, literally on the fly, a movie that I think would be fun as a video game. The most fun would be something like Zombieland, because it's literally just going through and crushing zombies. Because watching that movie honestly just felt like playing a video game. That's literally what it was. And then it is kind of the same sentiment, but I would say a movie that I really love that would be fun to play through a story mode, and for the similar reason of just going and making people pay and just crushing people, would be The Crow. If you were The Crow and you could kind of walk through the storyline of Eric Draven and avenge the death of you and your fiance, and obviously the bosses would be like the main characters that you go after in the movie, but all throughout you're just this walking dead man that can't die, and you're just fucking mowing through people. So that would be cool.
I like
it. And I can't necessarily. The Crow came out in a time that I think I would recall if there was a video game of that, and I don't believe there was.
Okay. Well, except even if there wasn't, Wasn't good
Okay.
enough for us to remember, so we'll accept it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Okay. Thank you.
Brian, what would be the worst movie you could possibly make into a video game?
I had a couple of thoughts come to mind here, but I think it'd be a very bad video game. The movie Philadelphia. Terrible video game. Horrible. Terrible.
I don't know what the goddamn point of this segment is, because that's my pick too.
Are you kidding me? That is hilarious.
Who knew you weren't that drunk to remember my joke on St. Patrick's Day?
That is funny. I forgot. I did not remember that at all. That's so funny. Oh my god. I'll give you my backup then. I'll give it Old Yeller. There you go. That's a bad video game. Yeah.
Great
Got to hunt down the dog. You know.
You know what? I'm gonna go one next to you. I'm gonna go Cujo.
There you go.
Yeah,
That might be an interesting
Actually, I think Cujo
video
would be
game.
a fun game because Cujo's a rabid dog. It's like
well,
you gotta.
Do you want to be the dog, or the woman?
Oh, you know what?
Right? I want to be the
That
dog,
would-
and I would try to
I
kill
think
the
that's-
family in the car.
Yeah.
I think it's fun either way as a video game.
I take it back. Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah.
What about you, Nick? I'm going to try to think of another one while you're.
Yeah, no, I'll give you a couple here. Once again, just for the record, I wrote down video games I thought would make good and terrible movies. So that was my whole premise.
Oh.
So I
Gotcha.
had it flip flop. But off the top of my head here, bad video games that were good movies. Beautiful Mind with Russell Crowe. Nobody wants
That's
to
a lot
just
of
do a
math.
video game of math. Like that's not fun. And the other one I wrote down was the King's Speech. I don't even know what that would look like, but probably just planning the King's Speech. Not an enticing video game.
Yeah.
So yeah, there you go.
You have to learn to talk very slowly.
Pronunciate.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna pound this fucking case and then it'll be no problem.
Ooh, you know a pretty bad one. Beaches with Bette Midler.
Right.
What was the one, Brian? Brian's song. There you go, Brian's song. The worst video
Bad
game.
video game.
It's a sport, but,
Yeah.
but also it's about a guy getting cancer.
Yeah.
Oh fuck! What was the one of
Brian's song. I like that.
No, what was the one where Ryan Reynolds is like in a fucking casket the entire time? That is the worst video game in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like you literally there's nothing.
Just scratching.
Joystick up down up down up down up down up down up down up down. Okay.
Watch this move. Watch
I'm
this
bored.
move. Oh, got it on the side. Hey, look at me.
That's good. That's good. How about one more good one? How about Kill Bill?
Ooh, that would
That'd
be
a
good
great
one.
video game.
Sure.
Beatrice Kiddo, killing spree, working your way up to Bill. It seems like that would exist. Maybe it does. I don't know, but
I would
it doesn't seem
hope,
like it does.
right? Samurai, revenge.
Yeah, it'd be a great game.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. That came out probably like PS2 times, so it wouldn't totally shock me if there was a
Yeah.
PS2 game.
I'll have to look it up.
I don't know.
All right. Any others, guys?
The Big Lebowski. Not a very good video game, I wouldn't think.
No.
A great movie,
No, fantastic movie.
but would be a boring video game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I give you that.
Yeah. Yeah. Be a little all over the place.
The movie that's behind me right here, or behind you guys, technically, watching Field of Dreams right now. I think that would be a great video game. More of like an old timey baseball game, really. When it comes down to it, not the part of
So
like
it'd be
him
like-
traveling across the country, picking up and kidnapping James Earl Jones. I don't want that part of the video game, but definitely like old timey ghost baseball players. That'd be fun.
Cool.
Yeah. All right.
Anybody got anything else?
Nah, I can probably think of it, but we're about out of time.
All right.
The Convincing Idiots podcast video game. Lame.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, you got to like whatever different positions to control on your controller or whatever to make like the magnificent jokes on my side.
Yeah,
Sure.
If you play as Brian, it's definitely the hard level because you have to edit and you have to pretend to laugh. And
Yep.
that's kind of a lot. Yeah. Mine's easy level. It's where you just show up. Yeah.
half the time you lose.
I'm just here for the ambiance. I'm just here to experience the whole thing.
Level 2, you didn't show up. Oh shit! What the fuck point was that?
All right, well, we're going to take a pause in this game and come back with our final segment. And Nick's going to tell you all about that right after this.
You're goddamn right I am.
Mm-hmm.
4, 3.
Hello and welcome back to Convincing Idiots, segment number 3. That's right, Convincing Idiots, the podcast in which, as we go on, you get dumber, we get drunker. I'm Millennial Nick. This is Cat Pickle Dean, Gen X Brian. We are joining you for segment number 3, in which we are going to simply discuss animated characters. If we were to recast them as real life actors. So this is kind of subjective, as we talked in our group chat this evening in discussing our main topic, as has been par for the course tonight. I think I understood a different thing than some of you maybe did. So I literally took one animated show and recasted their main characters into
It's okay.
present day actors.
Because of you.
And then some of you may have just chosen single notable animated characters and chosen good recasts for them. Ever the same, it'll all work out. So, Dean, what is your question?
My question. I don't have a question.
You said I had a question for you about the thing.
I said because of you, I'm questioning being in our group chat.
Oh,
yeah.
So did you understand it the same as Brian did?
I'm the one who chose this, so yes.
So you meant it the way Brian took it.
Maybe if there were bullet points on the on our rundown, we could distinguish topic from topic, but that's nor here nor there. Maybe for a different time.
So this is probably an off-camera discussion, because not as it is certainly not confrontational or argumentative, but so much so that the listener won't understand what we're talking about because they're not in the group chat. So we're going to move on from that.
First of all, I like that you're implying we have listeners. Second of all,
Mom, I'll tell you about the whole thing later, okay? It's very convoluted group chat.
If we do, they've already fucking been confused tonight. This is not a new point in their idealism for this show.
I'm confused every day. I search internet porn. I don't know where to go.
Yeah, either way is fine. Whether you recasted a show, or I did 5 random animated character. Either way is fine. However you want to do it is perfectly fine. You're recasting animated characters with a live actor at the end of the day, so that's all good.
Let me start because I will go character by character, because I actually chose to do an entire show, like a series, right? And I chose.
Okay, so you did what I did.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
I chose the Jetsons.
Okay.
And so I have 6 characters from the Jetsons that I will go through. I'm going to start with number 1, the main character, George Jetson. I have actually got Chris Evans, Captain America himself, as George Jetson. George Jetson was a gentleman in his 40s during the show, and that's around that's the average range, I guess. Chris Evans was probably, right? I'm assuming he's in his 40s.
You think?
I think maybe early 40s.
Yeah, you're probably right. He looks younger, but I think you're probably right.
So I think he'd be a good young family man, especially with the going, the cast I have following him. I think
40s is a young family man.
Well, I don't know. I'm talking. Well, look at the Jetsons. Yeah. He was, he had a teenage daughter and like a little kid's son or whatever. So I don't know. Whatever. It's a fucking cartoon.
A little kid's son, whatever.
Chris
You're
Evans is
thinking too much
43,
into
by the
this.
way. He's 43 years of age.
See, there you go.
There you go. Nailed it. Nailed it.
And I
Yep.
am young, so I was right.
You guys
Yep.
are aging on the same pace, I'd say, even.
That's right.
Similar.
That's right. So George Jetson, played by Chris Evans.
Nice.
Brian, what do you got there?
I love the animated show Archer. Have you guys ever seen Archer?
Yeah, Archer's great.
A
Yeah.
couple episodes, yeah.
Yeah, it's just the animation's great voice work, just a fun show. He's basically like a drunken James Bond type character, really is what he is. You know, very vulgar, but he still could fight and everything else. And we use one of our favorite actors of this podcast, I think would make a terrific
Oh, yeah.
Archer, who was selected to play as a potential James Bond replacement as well. I like him as the cartoon, you know, the Archer, John Hamm, gentlemen. So
Absolutely.
I like John Hamm as a live action Archer. Again,
be really
he's
good.
got the comedic talent. He's got the the ruggedness. He could play a spy, I think, and
Debonair looks.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mhm.
So if you ever watched Archer, check it out. You would love it. And it's definitely your type of humor as well.
I've seen a couple episodes back in the day.
And like we've said, he'd do it so well because he plays that kind of. He can do the comedy.
He is that character.
He can do that so well. It's almost like his character in I love he's a side character, but in Bridesmaids, where he's just the guy that Kristen Wiig's character is hooking up with, and all he cares about is like his car and his house and his but he's not trying to get attached, and he's kind of that's kind of a James Bond light or adjacent, an Archer kind of character. So yeah, that would be just perfect.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Nick.
So I chose to recast the main characters of one of my all-time favorite cartoons, albeit it is an adult-themed cartoon, but it is a cartoon nevertheless. Beavis and Butthead. I've got 8 characters here, so
Okay.
we can. I've got all the main characters from Beavis and Butthead. So we'll start right at the top here. Butthead. There's no better choice for the character of the live-action Butthead than John Hader, who played Napoleon Dynamite. He's got the kind of toothy, gummy thing. He can do the voice, kind of. I feel like a Napoleon Dynamite type of vibe, but butt-headed up a little more can definitely work. He's got the look. Yeah.
Funny
so
in general.
yes. Yeah. So I would do John Hader as a live-action cast of Butthead for sure.
I like
I'd
that.
be excited to see him in a comedic role.
Yeah. It would be hard. It would be hard to top the classic that he's already been in, but yes, or the one that he played a mentally challenged person. Or no,
All right.
that was a different movie. That was
An ice skater movie of some sort. Too.
Yeah, he was in Will Ferrell, Blades of Glory. Yeah,
Blades of Glory. All right. So we're going to continue with the Jetsons casting. We do have Chris Evans as George Jetson, and Jane, his wife, will be played by the lovely Rachel McAdams.
Oh, nice. Good
I
pick.
think she has that
Yeah.
Jane quality, the beautiful skin, the nice body, but also she comes off as smarter than him. She is she's the leader of the household, excuse me, regardless of what he thinks. And I think Rachel McAdams would definitely portray that quite well.
Nice. I like it. Next character I have, Johnny Bravo.
Oh yeah.
Fun cartoon, right? I think this guy I haven't watched the series too much. Now Dean has been watching it and highly recommends it. But when I see him, he definitely looks the part. And when I see some clips of him acting and all that, he seems like he could be a solid actor as well, but have some fun with the role. Alan Ritchson, who plays in Reacher. He's a big, huge dude. Just a good actor, solid. It seems like I think he would have fun with that role.
He's been
Yeah.
He's been putting out feelers and like in public really wants to be the new DCU Batman,
Yeah.
which I think he would be fucking awesome.
Yeah, he definitely looks like a grizzled,
Yep.
rough, version of Batman
He
for sure.
actually might have to like slim down a little bit. Or
He's
I was gonna
almost too big.
say, I feel like that
Almost too
guy's big to be Batman. Yeah.
I don't know. Just if you ever watch Reacher, you'd understand like that demeanor that he has would be
Okay.
perfect.
Yeah.
Bruce Wayne and Batman.
Yeah, very steely.
Mhm.
Yeah, I can see that. Some
Still
people are
smart.
buying for him too. They're fan. He's got a fan vote out there certainly.
Yeah,
So
he's got mine.
yeah, very good. Well, I like him as Johnny Bravo. How about that?
Yeah, I like
Yeah,
that too.
I like that. That's
Yeah.
cool.
Nikolai.
Next up, we got to go with Beavis, right? My pick for Beavis, this one was kind of harder, but I just thought who could kind of pull off that voice and maybe the kind of vibe. And I kept coming back to the actor is Noel Fisher. He played. Are you guys familiar with Shameless? You guys watch Shameless?
No,
I know it. I haven't seen it though.
no of it.
Okay.
Yes.
I was gonna fall. Yeah, I mean, yeah. He played Mickey. He was the character. He was. If you watch Shameless, he was the one of their neighbors, like troubled friends or whatever, and he was also one of the many vampires in like the Twilight movies, one of the later ones. I don't know. But yeah, if you're familiar with Shameless, he was Mickey, and I feel like he kind of gave that kind of spastic kind of he could pull that off. So yeah, Noel Fisher is my Beavis.
Good.
Oh yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
What do you
He's
know
been
him
in
from?
he's been in some other things.
He has, but I didn't know what to reference other than Shameless and Twilight. But I've seen him in other things, but I don't know exactly what.
Yeah, I can't place it either.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So anybody listening, IMDb Noel Fisher.
A
Also,
and
dog named
find what you know.
Christmas.
A Canadian actor
Is
as
he?
well.
I don't think I knew that.
He was in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie, 2014. One of the voices, I'm sure.
Okay. Yeah.
Couple Turtles movies. Final Destination 2.
Everything
There you go.
that's here,
Yeah.
I've never seen, but I know
Yeah.
I've seen it before. I've seen him like he's been always like the side character of anything I've watched.
Yeah,
It's-
he's not really
Yeah.
carried a picture, but I feel like he could pull off a good Beavis vibe.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
So yeah,
Hair as high as he can.
yeah. So alrighty, Dean, who you got next? In the Jetsons.
Ladybug. All right. So now we have to go the teenage daughter, Judy. And first of all, you don't want to. Well, I don't want to show anybody my my history on my phone for my internet searches because, like, I literally had to type in teenage actresses. So I don't.
That should be no stranger to you with your what's her face from Wednesday Adams.
How dare you? I was gonna cast her actually. She can play teenager because she's not, but she can definitely play teenager. But no, I had to go what play a little younger, but also have that white meat baby face. I
don't love it when you refer to young girls as white meat. That's not great. I don't love that for you.
I'm gonna go with Millie Bobby Brown
Oh yeah. Sure.
as Judy Jetson.
Yeah, that's a good one. Good
I
pick.
like that.
She can
It
play
has the look to it.
Yeah, and she's
Mhm.
she's in her like early 20s now herself,
Yeah.
but still can play. I mean, hell, she's still playing fucking 12 years old coming up in the new season of Stranger Things. But I digress. I think she'd be a lovely Judy Jetson, and so
Sure. Very good.
I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brian.
I'm picturing a live action Simpsons movie. Probably could have spent more time on just focusing on the Simpsons for a minute here, but I just like this actor as Homer. Be kind of a different version, but I think he definitely could play a slovenly type. He's definitely a comedic. One of my favorite comedic actors. I like Seth Rogen as Homer Simpson.
Sure.
Yeah, be good.
I can see that.
Yeah, not necessarily like the whole at that level of Homer, but just the fun-loving, oafish
Yeah.
Homer. I think he fit that role very well.
Donut.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I like that.
Nick?
Am I up again? Okay. Next one up. So you got Beavis and Butthead, right? And then you start expanding on the cast of characters. One of my favorite characters in Beavis and Butthead was Todd. He was just this guy in the neighborhood that they thought was so
Yep.
fucking cool, but he was just kind of white trash and whatever. But they idolized Todd so much, and he treated him like absolute shit. And I did this character really this actor spoke to me for this role because I feel like he did it already in Eastbound and Down. Danny McBride would be a great Todd. Just
Yes.
driving his fucking beater car, drinking. He would basically be the same character he was in Eastbound and Down, but just kind of playing off Beavis and Butthead. So I like Danny McBride as my Todd.
That's good.
Yeah. Dean, Jetsons?
Jetsons, we are now going again. I had to search young boy actors. So yeah, again,
Troubling yet even more.
Yeah, not happy about how the search went. And I didn't know any of like young actors. I didn't see. I don't watch any like kids movies. I could like choose somebody from the past, but I wanted to just kind of stay current with actors, and I couldn't find anybody.
Timothy Chalamet. When in doubt, Timothy Chalamet.
Right. No, I actually cheated. I'm actually not going with an actor per se. And I'm going with my son Carter for
There you go.
Elroy Jetson.
Nice.
I can see him with a little lunchbox zipping down to the space school and stuff. Yeah. So my son Carter as Elroy Jetson.
Nice. Making his acting debut.
His acting debut. That's right.
I like it. I'd go see that.
Nice.
Brian?
Sort of along the same line. We talked about Looney Tunes. I'm trying to figure out what Looney Tunes character would be good live action. How about Jonah Hill playing Elmer Fudd?
Sure.
Okay. Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. I like. Yeah.
It's sort of a different version of Elmer Fudd, but again, Jonah Hill's hilarious. He could play many comedic styles and all that. So
yeah.
Kind of like him as a live action Elmer Fudd. Yeah.
Very good.
Nick?
My next one. Okay, so this is a fun one. For me personally, this character in Beavis and Butthead, there was nothing that came to my mind quicker, and it wasn't pre-planned, it wasn't preconceived, nothing. I just thought this character and I thought this actress, and I want you to tell me if you do the same. So I'm going to ask you. I'm casting Daria for Beavis and Butthead. Who am I casting?
Sure.
Take a swing. Who would you do?
Oh, what's her name from The Office? Aubrey Plaza.
Not from The Office, but yes. Parks and Rec. But yeah. Yep, Aubrey Plaza.
Perfect.
You're right. Ding, ding,
Perfect.
ding. It's that easy. Immediately,
I like
Aubrey
that.
Plaza is meant to play live action. Meant to play live action Daria. Yeah, absolutely.
I like that a lot.
I don't need to say anything more. She literally is Daria.
Yep, that's true.
So there it is. Aubrey Plaza.
Love it.
Excellent.
All right, I'm actually going to dip into Brian's casting bit because for Astro the dog, I'm bringing on Seth Rogen. He has that the laugh, he has the voice that because he didn't like actually speak, right? It was kind of like dog speak, but like that sort of thing. So it wasn't technical words. So I think with that gruff voice, but he could still use his laugh. But hell, even if you wanted, because Astro's going to be CGI anyway, so you could even, in this version, have him talk. You know what I mean? I'd be okay with it. I mean, it is the Jetsons.
Sure, movie, do it however you want.
That's right. So Seth
you go.
Rogen is
Fuck
doing
yeah.
the voice of Astro, the dog.
Nice.
I like it. All right. And my fifth one, Dexter from Dexter's Laboratory. I like him
Out
in
of
this
Cartoon
role.
Network, 90s characters
Yeah.
here with Johnny Bravo, Dexter.
Yeah.
I'm digging it. Nice. All right.
Yeah. How about Kieran Culkin as Dexter?
Oh, okay.
Sure.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
He's not
Could be
the
good.
kid, obviously, but he's sort of a little bit more of a grown-up version of Dexter.
Sure.
It'd be great in the role.
Yeah, for sure.
I like that.
That's what I
Nicola?
got. Yep.
All right. I'll say my last because I starred my 5 favorites, but if we do
Sure.
honorable mentions, I'll throw in the others. This one I was really happy about too. Principal McVicker in Beavis and Butthead. He was always just high strung and angry and kind of Beavis and Butthead, you little bastards, I'm gonna get like he was just always on the edge. And I was like, man, you know what version of that I would like to see? Louis Black. Louis Black as Principal McVicker would be
yeah.
Pretty
fantastic.
goddamn good. Yeah.
He
Good
just
one.
he would he's always on the edge. He's always ready to fucking just lose it. And Louis Black can really bring that energy to Principal McVicker that I want to see in a live action Beavis and Butthead movie or series. So, yep, Louis Black.
Perfect.
I like it.
Perfect. All right. So my last one, Mr. Spacely of Spacely Sprockets. Where?
It's your favorite guy. I know it.
Do you know? It's the obvious. It's Danny DeVito.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Kevin Spacey because I know you love and always back Kevin Spacey in all things.
No, not
So-
this time. This time
Okay.
with the shortness and the hair.
Yeah.
You just throw a mustache on Danny DeVito, and he is Mr. Spacely.
Yep.
So that's my cast for the Jetsons: Chris Evans, Rachel McAdams, Millie Bobby Brown, Carter, Seth Rogen, and Danny DeVito.
Very good.
Very good.
Did you say
See,
Mr.
I'm
Spacely had a
doing
mustache?
Duolingo on Brian too. He said
Yeah.
very good.
No.
You're not going to go?
Huh? Oh, he did
Mr.
have a... You know what? I'm cross-referencing Mr. Slate. You're right. Mr. Spacely did have the mustache. My
Spacey had a
apologies.
mustache.
Yeah,
You really
you're
had me
exactly-
question everything
You're
thought I
correct.
knew.
No, you're
Yeah.
correct. You're correct.
Yep.
Yep. Very good.
Nice
Good
little
ones.
mustache too.
Yes, he did.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he did. Great Mel Blanc there as well. Any honorable mentions? I really don't have any. So Nick, you said
either.
Yeah,
So
I'm
Nick-
going to round out because I had 8 characters.
Finish up your deal.
Yeah, go ahead, please. Finish your characters.
Also, Mr. Van Driesen. If you guys don't recall the name, that was the very hippie teacher that was Beavis, Butthead, okay, and he'd play the guitar and whatever. I thought Jim Carrey would bring a good vibe to that. Jim Carrey would bring a great Mr. Van Driesen vibe that I'd be looking for. Also, one of my other favorite characters next to Todd was Stuart, the kid in the winger shirt. That was always like worried about getting in trouble with his parents, and he was the goody kid. And we've talked about it, I think, in the past. I always found it hilarious that they wore like Metallica and AC/DC shirts, and he wore a winger shirt. The foreshadowing was kind of brilliant there with the bands. I thought Michael Cera would be a really great Stuart. You guys, like my mom, like I'm gonna really get in trouble for this, and then Mr. Anderson, the next door neighbor, you've always been whacking off in my tool shed. John C. Reilly, I like in the Mr. Anderson role. I think he could pull that off really well. So yeah, that's my Beavis and Butthead cast. As we started this thing, I was like, I'm gonna have a struggle because I immediately went to Beavis and Butthead, but I was like, I don't know. And as I started thinking about the side characters, and the more they started coming to me, the more fun it was, and really it kind of took off running with all that stuff. So this was a fun topic. Good shit.
I'd want to see both your movies.
Yeah,
I think it'd be
likewise.
good. I like it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep,
it'd be good.
Likewise.
I think we
see all these live action roles.
out of the park.
And I do look forward to seeing Carter's debut as an actor.
Yes, it'll be good. It'll be good.
Yep.
As Elroy.
Yeah, no, I think we nailed it, guys. I think I smell Blockbuster. That's what I smell.
That's right. Yeah. Well, speaking of nailing it, I'm guessing we've already nailed your algorithm
Damn,
by
you're
the fact that you've found this podcast. And not the proverbial your mom, but he's talking about my mom.
correct.
That's right. Now it's about time to wrap it up. This has been Convincing Idiots, episode 234. So if you've not already done so, we would like to invite you to come find us on all your favorite social media platforms. Please like, subscribe, rate, review this podcast because that helps us out a lot. And in turn, we will help out your boredom and with listening to this podcast. You can find links to this podcast on our link tree. So go to Google and type in Convincing Idiots link tree. That's LINKTREE. You can also go to our website, which is convincingidiots.wordpress.com. So this has been, once again, episode 234 of Convincing Idiots. I am Millennial Nick.
I am the Zennial Dean.
Gen X Brian.
And we are living proof that there is no recasting us.
Did you just see that shit? If you liked what you saw, like and subscribe. Come back. You're going to want to.
Ham grape.
This week on Convincing Idiots. Oh, you are so lucky you came here to listen to us. We're going to talk about George Forman and women in sports. We're going to talk about the best and worst movies that could be video games. So I'm going to start over. I didn't like from the fucking beginning. I was going to fight through it maybe. All right.
George Foreman would have fought through it.
I know.